Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today I'm going to be talking about EMEA. So VCL just finished for most regions, if not, well, actually two regions I'm pretty sure has finished it. Well, actually no, EMEA has finished, I know that, but I'm not too sure about the Asia Pacific region. But EMEA is definitely finished. So what's going to happen is that I already explained in my last video, is that I'll be splitting this up to two videos, one for EMEA and one for Asia Pacific. So let's get started because we have a lot to cover. So first start off with the East. So I'm pretty sure it's got the East Surge, I'm pretty sure. Here are the participants have been Enterprise Esports, B8 Esports, Ascend, Zero Intensity, Norm Esports, Anthra's Esports, I don't know how you say that name sadly, Diamond Esports, Anomio Esports, Rapid Ninjas, and Cyber Wolves Esports. Players, something you might know, not really going to get into all of them, I'll be honest. I just want to quickly just gloss over them. That's really about it. Regular season, Ascend with a massive lead with I think 44 points. Then we got Rapid Ninjas with 36, Enterprise and Diamond Esports with 34 points. Cyber Wolves Esports and Anomio Esports right now the playoffs, or teams advancing to the playoffs with 31 points and 28 points respectively. Then we got Orthods Esports, B8 Esports, Zero Intensity, and Nom Esports. They finished 7th through 10th. Playoffs, here we are. I'm not gonna do what I did for the other previous videos. I'm not gonna go on VLR and review them. We have a lot to cover, so I will just bypass that. Diamond Esports versus Cyberwolves Esports. 2-0 victory for Diamond Esports to start off the quarterfinals. Enterprise Esports winning against Normio Esports in 2-1. Ascend versus Diamond Esports. That was a 2-1 victory for Ascend in the upper bracket semifinals. Enterprise Esports 2-0 in Rapid Ninjas. Lower bracket quarterfinals, that being Anomio Esports versus Diamond Esports, and Anomio Esports are winning that one 2-1. Rapid Ninjas versus Cyberwolves Esports, that being a 2-0 victory for Cyberwolves Esports. So Rapid Ninjas and Diamond Esports are knocked out of the tournament. Anomio Esports versus Cyberwolves Esports in the lower bracket semifinals. Cyberwolves Esports goes home as Anomio Esports rolls on. Upper bracket final, Ascend versus Enterprise Esports. That have been a 2-0 victory for Ascend. So Ascend advances to the grand final. Anomio Esports is knocked out by Enterprise Esports in the lower bracket final, advancing themselves into the grand final. And it's a 3-0 clean sweep by Ascend as they won against Enterprise Esports. Pretty convincing win. Icebox and Pearl definitely very convincing. Haven wasn't actually too bad. It was very, very close. Went to overtime. But yeah, it just was not enough for the very dominant and quite expecting dominant roster of Ascend. So that is the East one all done. Let's now move over to France, which I'm pretty sure is called the France Revolution. Okay. But here are the teams. We got Mandatory, Wild, Be Genius, ESC, Heat, Blacks United, I don't know how you say that one. 3D Max, Zarans, Valiant, Job Life, and SBG. Here are the players. You might know some of these players. You might not know some of these players, which is fair enough. But actually, I do need to shout out someone, which is Jesse. Jesse did a phenomenal job, I'm pretty sure, in the grand final. Might be wrong. But Jesse did a phenomenal job throughout the playoffs especially. So, shout out to him. He's in the Valiant team. Regular season, SBG is on top, and then we got Mandatory right now in second place. And then third through sixth, we have Zerance, Wild, Valiant, and Job Life. Job Life actually got the tiebreaker after having I don't know what that doesn't make sense to me. I thought it'd be Genius ESC getting the tiebreaker because they have a better map differential. I guess it's also because of map records, which also doesn't make sense. But whatever, it is what it is, I guess. So that's the top 6. Job Life rounds it down to top 6. Then for 7th through 10th, we have Be Genius, ESC, Heat, Blacks United, might be wrong about that, and 3D Max right now. The teams. Playoffs, Valiant winning that one against Wild. It was Lean who got MVP, 13-11 on both Split and Haven, starting off the quarterfinals. And then Zarans versus Job Life has a 2-0 victory for Zarans, and Lux9 getting the MVP for that match. SBG versus Valiant. I'm pretty sure this was when Jesse got like, I don't know, like, I'll say plus 40 KDA ratio. I'm going to have a quick check on it though. But it was a very close game. But SBG just barely, just squeaks it out against Valiant. This was a phenomenal match. Went back and forth, but on Icebox 13-10 went to SBG. So for reference, Jesse, part of Valiant, got a plus 43 KDA ratio and a rating of 1.41. The KDAs was 123 to 80 to 46. The next highest one was Wallows, I'm pretty sure, with a rating of 1.11, a KDA ratio of 9, and the KDA itself being 83, 74, and 41. That's how dominant Jesse was in that match. So Jesse did a phenomenal job, and I do hope though that he gets picked up by a partner team at some point, because he did a well job. Mandatory versus Serrans. It was not as a close one as the SBG and Valiant one. I think that one's going to be talked about quite a lot. But it was Mandatory winning that one and Ghoster gaining the MVP. And then for the grand final, it was SBG versus Mandatory. It was a 3-1 victory for SBG, making them the champions of the split one for France. Even though Valiant was very, very close on beating them because they did a really, really good job. But unlucky for Mandatory though. I still thought Mandatory was pretty good, in my opinion. But yeah. So that is the France all done. So that's the France Revolution. Now let's move over to the DACH one, which I cannot remember what it is. It is... Oh, okay. So that's the Evolution. And the France one... was called the Revolution. So that's definitely not confusing. But either way, here are the participants. We got Mouse, CGN Esports, Unicorns of Love, Ovation Esports, Angry Titans, AX1, Alternate Attacks, and TBD. TBD is formerly known as Wave Esports, as you can see. So here are the plays. Might know them, might not know them. It doesn't really matter though. Obviously, these are mainly part of the German talent, and I do hope we actually get to see some German players in the VCT, hopefully. But here are the standings. The DACH region did have a very weird format, where it was just 3 maps, 3 or 2 maps. Well, actually no, it was 2 maps. 2 maps, yeah. So as you can tell, some of them have actually been tied. So that's pretty unlucky there. But Mouse, they got first place, followed by Unicorns of Love, Angry Titans, and CGN Esports. In 5th through 8th, we have Alternate Attacks, AX1, Ovation Esports, and TBD. For the playoffs, luckily, they went back to the traditional best of 3, or best of 2, what doesn't matter, yeah, best of 2, best of 5 format, so that's good. Starting off the upper bracket semifinals was Mouse versus CGN. CGN Esports winning that one in 2-0 fashion. Unicorns of Love also 2-0 Angry Titans, also in pretty dominant fashion. Mouse versus Angry Titans, that was a 2-1 victory for Angry Titans, and Mouse is now out of the tournament. Upper bracket final, we have CGN versus Unicorns of Love, and it was Unicorns of Love winning that one, a 2-0 victory for them. And then in the lower bracket final, we have CGN Esports winning against Angry Titans in a 2-1 fashion. Pretty close game though, especially on Lotus. Then in the grand final, CGN Esports got their revenge on Unicorns of Love, 3-0ing them in the grand final, making them the best DACH region team. I'll say that. So congrats to CGN Esports, they did a very, very good job. But yeah, Unicorns of Love, they were a bit iffy, but I think Unicorns of Love have a very, very solid roster though. So that's the DACH region, all done. Turkey. I can't remember what the Turkey's one is called. Berlik. Might be saying that, I might butcher that horrendously, and if I did, I deeply apologize. But here are the teams. We got Parla Esports, Gataway Esports, Fireflux Esports, Supermassive Esports, Fenerbahce Esports, Thunderbolts Gaming, Istanbul Wildcats, S2G Esports, Galacticus, and Digital Athletics. Here are the teams. Obviously, you can pick out your favorite ones if you really want to, but those are the players and the teams. Regular standings, here it is. Fireflux Esports and Parlay Esports both got 21 points and both ended up in a record with 8-1, so they finished in the top 2. Then we got Supermassive Esports and S2G Esports both getting with 6-3 and 18 points. Then we got Istanbul Wildcats and Getaway and Galtaway Esports both getting 4-5, 12 points. And then for 7th through 10th, we have Digital Athletics and Fenerbahce Esports, both of them getting 3-6, 9 points. Thunderbolts Gaming getting 2-7, 6 points, and Galacticus with only a 1-8, 3 points. So Galacticus not that well for them. But top 6, all of them advances to the playoffs. And speaking of that, here it is. S2G Esports winning against Istanbul Wildcats, and Russ getting MVP. You might know him from formerly part of the Giants gaming roster and the SMB roster that was very dominant in Turkey back in the day. They destroyed Istanbul Wildcats. And Supermassive Esports winning against Galtaway Esports, Elite gained MVP. He was supposed to be playing for BBL, but that did not happen. S2G Esports continues their very impressive run, winning out against Fireflux Esports with 3-1 fashion, and Rhines, I'm pretty sure I say his name. If I'm pretty sure that is how you say his name. I apologize if I did butcher it up. He got MVP against Fireflux Esports, and a very it was actually a reverse sweep from Supermassive Esports as they won against Parlay Esports, and Burzy gained MVP for that one. That's definitely going to be talked about for a very, very long time. And finally, for the grand final, I'm not too sure if this is for. I don't think this is really upsetting potential because S2G Esports has some very, very good players. But obviously, if you are Turkey, let me know if this is considered upset, because I don't think it is. But S2G Esports, they 3-0'd Supermassive Esports, and Pora again MVP. It's quite ironic that Pora, who used to be part of Supermassive Esports, and Russ as well, beat out their now new Supermassive roster. Congrats to S2G Esports, and let's just have, Pora and Russ, both of them, but also Quad 9 as well. All those three were formerly part of the dominant Supermassive Esports. The only one that kind of survives is Izzy. That's really about it. So that's Turkey all done. Let's now move over to Northern Europe, which is Polaris, I'm pretty sure. Yes, it is Polaris. So Northern Europe, which let's just say we didn't see a lot of action from them because it's kind of a region that everyone forgot about, I'll be honest. But the teams include Hukaros, HSDIR, Focus, Human Tripwires, Apex, Bonk, Vamonos, and Le Petit Bouffons. Very French. But then obviously here are the rosters as well. Human Tripwires, just to let you know, I'm pretty sure they bummed out of the tournament, so they forfeited their remaining matches. So I don't think they are a thing anymore, which is pretty disappointing. Here are the standings. So top 4 advances to the playoffs, I'm pretty sure. Might be wrong about that. But the Le Petit Bouffons and Apex, both of them gained 6-1, 18 points. Focus 5-2 with 15 points, and HSDIRR gained a 4-3 record, 12 points. And 5th through 8th, we have Bonk with a 3-4 record, 9 points. Hukars with a 2-5 record, 6 points. And Valmonos and Human Tripwires both with 1-6, 3 points. So let's now move over to the playoffs. It was HSDIRR winning that one against Le Petit Bouffons. Very surprising, actually. 2-1 victory for HSDIRR to start off the bracket semifinals. Apex winning against Focus. Not really surprised. Apex has some very, very good players. And even some championship contending players as well. So I'm not really surprised about that. What I am surprised about is that Focus basically crushing against the Le Petit Bouffons team, who actually has some very, very good players. So I was pretty surprised about that. But Focus themselves, they are an underdog team. Our bracket final, Apex winning against HSDIR. To a victory for them. It wasn't the best as well for HSDIR, as they got 2-0 as well by Focus. A very close game they're on Fracture, but on Pearl was a crushing defeat for Focus. But in the grand final, it was Apex winning that one against Focus, a 3-1 fashion. Focus, they they did a solid job, but Focus but Apex they were just too strong for Focus, so it's fair enough for that. But that is Northern Europe all done. Let's now move over to Italy and that's what they're called. I'm not even going to pronounce or even going to try and say that. But the teams include Zaire, Clash, Mako Esports, Outplayed, Humble. I'm pretty sure that's how you call it. WL Gaming Esports, GMT Esports, and Axolotl. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, Axolotl, I don't know. But here are the players, and here are also the teams as well. So here are the teams, here are the players. Here they are. Might know some of them, might not. Regular season, Zaire getting a 13-1 record in first place, and second place we got Humble with 9-5. GMT and Mako, both of them getting third and fourth, and 8-6 record. And then 5th through 8th we have Clash with 7-all, WL Gaming Esports with 6-8, Axolotl with 3-11, and Outplay with 2-12. For the playoffs, GMT Esports winning against Mako Esports a 3-1 fashion. Pretty close game on Fracture, but not really for the other ones, especially on Lotus. Upper bracket final, it was Zaire versus Humble, so 3-2 victory for Zaire. Pretty close game on Split, not really on Haven, moderately close on Ascent and Pearl. Lotus was a bit moderate. Again, another 3-2 match involving Humble, but they lost again to GMT Esports. Incredibly close on Lotus and Fracture, and Haven as well, and Ascent, but Pearl moderately close. Lotus went to overtime. I'm pretty sure that's 4 times, even 6 times. I'm not too sure. I can't really math. But Lotus that went to OT, and GMT winning that one. And GMT completes their low bracket run, beating out Zaire for the victory. Pretty close game on Split. Haven Icebox moderately, and then Lotus was a pretty crushing defeat for Zaire as they won that one on Lotus. So that is Italy all done. Congrats to GMT Esports. Now let's move over to the final one, which is MENA, the final MENA one in the Levant and North Africa split, which is called Resilience. So here are the teams. We have GK Esports, Team Majesty, yeah, whatever. Majesty, Nazar Esports, Team Rad, Bravado Gaming, Fate Esports, Onyx Ravens, and GNG Esports. Here are the teams and the players as well. Skadoodles, that's very close to Skadoodle. I'm guessing that's where you got the name from, but yeah, that's just my guess. Here are the regular season standings. We have GK Esports winning again, and Nazar Esports and Team Rad, all of them getting a 12-2 record. But GK Esports' map record was actually better with a plus 136. Nazar's was a plus 132, and Team Rad was a plus 100 and plus 105. Then Onyx Ravens a bit more behind, 6-8 record. And then through 5th through 8th we have GNG Esports, Fate Esports, Bravado Gaming, and Team Majesty, who went down to 2-12. Playoffs, Team Rad versus Onyx Ravens, and it was Team Rad winning that one, and Deepro getting the MVP for that one. Lotus was very, very close. GK Esports versus Nazar Esports, I should say Nazar Esports, 2-1 victory for GK, and Shalabi getting MVP for that one. You might remember him for being the super sub for Team Vitality, I'm pretty sure. Nazar Esports once again lost in a 2-1 fashion to Team Rad, and 4TW getting the MVP for that. And then in the grand final, it was actually Team Rad winning this one. A very close game on Ascent, but it was a 3-0 victory for Team Rad. So, congrats to Team Rad for winning again, for winning the Levant and North Africa split 1. So that's really about it for today's video, and I'm pretty sure the next one will involve some Pacific regions like Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Philippines, and Indonesia, and Oceania. But I might be wrong about some of them, but we'll see. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys on next time in the next one. Goodbye.